This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
Step into the magic. The Minnesota Renaissance Festival runs weekends right now through September 28th. Get your tickets now at renaissancefest.com and enter for your shot to win a pair of tickets on our contest page at KFAN.com, keyword contest.
We're back. I'm Comedy's 10 to be 1 o'clock hour, as always, begins with 5, 3, 4.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1. It's time now for a look at the Lynx.
The Lynx are in San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose? They're there tonight to face the Valkyries in Game 2 of their WNBA playoff series. The Lynx won Game 1, 101-72. That game starts at 9 p.m. tonight. You can listen to it right here on the Fan or on the Lynx channel on the iHeartRadio app. Common, will the Lynx close it out tonight?
Do you know what else San Jose is well known for?
What's that?
It's where all the stars that never were are parking cars and pumping gas. Do you know the way to San Jose? I think they do close it out. I would not expect, I guess San Jose could say, well, let's show them what San Jose Valkyrie basketball is all about. But I don't, I would think, and normally I would say get to the Western Conference Finals and get back to me. But 2 reasons I won't with the Lynx. Because they've won championships. So it's not like I'm doing I'm dismissing them, until you do something that is more than just ordinary, get back to me, right? And I'm kind of actually looking forward to this because is it going to be the Liberty? Do we know? I mean, are Liberty up 2-0?
I think they lost Game 2, if I recall.
Did. So maybe it's not a foregone conclusion?
Or maybe I'm confusing that with... Because Vegas lost last night, finally. They lost to Seattle. I know Liberty beat Washington, so maybe they did advance.
Liberty. Or else they're just up 2-0, too. Something like that.
Well, they're only 3-game series.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
In the first round.
Yeah, so okay. Well, anyway.
So, the Lynx can close it out tonight.
Yeah, I think they do. I don't think there's going to be a problem with it at all.
I did see, I was reading a little bit about it in the Star Tribune today, that the Valkyries coach, you can tell desperation's already settling in after one game, because she already went to the I need to try to influence the referees card. Basically accusing them in Game 1 of letting a lot of the rough play go.
Really?
And she did the old, the Lynx are already a great team. They don't need any help. But even for the free throws, and I didn't see the game, but for the free throws, the Valkyries actually had more free throws than the Lynx in that game. So,
well, you got to go with something.
But she's desperate.
Yeah. Desperation.
Or he, I don't even know who the coach is.
Desperation definitely setting in.
Question number 2.
You doubted this Twins club.
It's now time to delve deep into Twins territory.
Crack out a home run, shout a hip hooray! Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
The Twins rallied from a 10-1 deficit, but still fell just 1 run short, losing 10-9 to the Yankees last night at Target Field. Zebby Matthews gave up 9 runs on 11 hits over 3 innings while also walking 2.
They just let him keep going?
Something called James Outman, Ryan Fitzgerald, and Trevor Larnach all went deep from Minnesota.
Can I interject for a second?
Yeah.
Was that 9 runs in 3 innings?
3 innings on 11 hits and 2 walks. Common, what sticks out to you from the Twins' almost comeback last night?
Well, 9 runs over 3 innings is like starting your round triple. I mean, that's just awful.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that.
Yeah. Well, again, we talked about Zeb Matthews last week. The Pohlad pocket protectors and all their infinite wisdom, they tend to either they're just propaganda arms for the hometown 9, or they've just bought into, or maybe they really believe it, or they've been brainwashed by the organization.
Liberty's up 1-0, by the way. I'm sorry.
They're brainwashed by the organization because every time we hear of a youngster coming up for the Twins, he's a can't miss, going to be great. Can't miss, going to be great. Zeb Matthews, and who's the other pitcher?
David Festa.
David Festa. And Festa and Matthews, they're okay. I mean, they have their moments, but it seems like they have more negative moments than positive moments. So, yeah, that's not good. But they made it in. I mean, you're at the point you're playing spoiler now. And, I guess they did the other night. Simeon Richardson Woods was brilliant. Struck out, 11 Yankees and gave up 2 hits, protecting the home turf. We talked yesterday. The Twins ought to just start pitching him at home. Just don't even put him out on the mound during away games because he's not very good on the road. But and then you gave the Bronx Bombers a scare last night. So there's some other stuff about the Twins I want to talk about before. Maybe we'll do that next segment before we get into KOC. He's supposed to start at 120.
Question number 3.
Time now for an in-depth look at the state of hockey.
Minnesota Wild training camp begins tomorrow at Tria Rink in St. Paul. Common, other than Kirill Kaprizov, which Wild storylines are you most tracking over the next couple weeks?
You probably know the storylines better than I do. I guess, does Tarasenko have anything left? Because he is with the club, right? I guess that's one. Yep. I mean, that's, again, didn't you say he's 3, 4, even 5 years removed from his best hockey?
It's been a while.
And so it's like,
pretty good back in his day. Right. I mean, he was a superstar.
And so maybe some way, somehow he can return to those thrilling days of yesteryear, but I'm not real hopeful about that. How about you?
Other than Kaprizov, the whole focus is going to be on Kaprizov. Bill Guerin is talking to the media tomorrow morning at 10:50 a.m. That's already been scheduled. And I thought I had heard that maybe Kaprizov was going to be talking. I'm sure he'll give us a bunch of nothing burgers, but
nothing burgers, is that what we call them?
Yeah, but that's storyline A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to go to E, I would agree that seeing what you got out of Tarasenko. The other thing is just going to be the young guys, which seems like we've been saying that for like 4 years in a row now.
Right.
But because they didn't make a lot of external moves, if you're going to see improvement, it's going to be either an A, health, which clearly is a way they can improve from last year because they weren't very healthy last year, or B, young players getting even better. Urov is over from Russia now, so we're going to get kind of his first look as a pro in the Minnesota Wild system. I'm still not convinced he's going to start with the Wild. I think he might start down in Iowa, just because I don't think the team really knows a lot about him. They don't have a lot of scouts in Russia watching him nonstop. And then you got some young blue liners and Z Buyum and David Juracek, who we saw, obviously Buyum in the playoffs last year, and Juracek he was sprinkled in a little bit throughout the season. But those are 2 guys all of a sudden that, especially with Brodin out early because Brodin's hurt, are going to be counted on probably quite heavily early in the season. And we'll see what we got out of young guys, but you don't really know, I guess, until we get going here.
There you go.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Fast-paced, action-packed, and controversial. That's what we serve up every day on the Common Man program. Next, on the side of the break, Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings, his midweek news conference live from the New Winter Park, the TCO Performance Center. That's next here on The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
The Power Trip is headed back to the island. Join the guys at Treasure Island September 18th and 19th for 2 shows and parlay full of games, tons of laughs, and great prizes, including 2 trips to Las Vegas with the show in October. Use the promo code KFAN when you book your stay to save 20%. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Well, you're getting ripped.
Yeah?
By the way, we're tap dancing right now, awaiting the arrival of the head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings for his weekly midweek news conference live from the TCO Performance Center, a.k.a. the New Winter Park. From Paul in St. Louis Park, I appreciate y'all talking the Lynx, but you might want to do a little research next time. It's clear you don't follow at all based on that conversation. The Valkyries play in San Francisco. Their coach is Coach of the Year and has massively overachieved already by bringing a first-year team to the playoffs for the first time ever. Liberty beat Phoenix, not Washington. Washington's not even in the playoffs, and the first round is indeed a 3-game series. You know what my response to that would be?
Well, there's that.
I don't.
Well, one, he's wrong on the first part because, well, it's not. We knew they played in San Francisco. They're playing the game tonight in San Jose, though, because the game in San Francisco the arena they play in San Francisco was already booked. So tonight they are playing in San Jose, even though they're from San Francisco.
So take that. Nah.
And yes, I went to WNBA.com and they still had the last regular season scores up on the top banner. And I assumed that was a playoff. I got the date wrong. So I apologize for getting the opponent wrong. I was wrong.
Might want to start paying attention before you start talking Lynx. Remember when we did the quiz and you wanted me to match up the cities with the proper nicknames? I think I got 2 right, Lynx and Liberty. I think I missed every other one. Sorry. I'm not a basketball person to begin with. Except when my boy was playing basketball, then I was into it. But now I'm just doesn't do a lot for me. The story that you...
By the way, we don't pay attention to most sports.
Yeah, well, that's true. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for you sending me this, there's 2 Twins things I want to talk about. And in either case, I would not have known about them had I not been alerted to it by other folks. And this one would be what you sent me earlier today. Hold on, here it is. It says, no. Did you send me one about the Twins? Oh, yeah, that was last night. You said, boy, you were working even late last night. Last night when I got home, it was about... the Twins eliminated 4 of the 5 members of their pro scouting staff. Multiple league sources confirmed Tuesday night. A move that one league source described as part of cost-cutting measures by team ownership. That doesn't sound like the Pohlads, does it? Cost-cutting measures? Though the terminations were telegraphed by a significant reduction in the scouts' travel budget in previous years, how do you scout without being there? I guess television, because that's what they said. They wanted them to do it now more with watching video. Longtime pro scout Ken Compton, who was in his 39th season as a scout and 15th with the club, along with fellow pro scout John Manuel, formerly the editor-in-chief of Baseball America. They were among those informed their positions were being eliminated. Fellow pro scouts Keith Storr and Jose Marzan, a former Twins farmhand who'd spent 30-plus years in the organization in a variety of coaching and scouting roles, also let go. Pro scout Wesley Wright is still employed by the club. The Twins officials declined to comment about the dismissals. I did see this story does say, though, the limiting or elimination of pro scouting departments is becoming a trend across baseball as teams have been relying on video scouting more and more in recent years. 10 months ago, the Cubs drastically reduced their pro scouting department. So, for those of us who have sharpened teeth, ready to go after the Pohlads for every penny pinching move, it sounds like other teams are doing this as well. But it is just par for the course. It's we don't need pro scouts anymore because we just use computers. Well, that's it, and that's how they roll over at the goose that laid the golden egg. Then this was a text message that was sent to Common at KFAN.com. It says, Common, hope you're hitting some knockdown, punch, cut, fade draws and playing like Blandon this morning. That is to say, having experience. That's not unlike that of a PGA Tour
I
player.
always love that one.
You got to get bonus on it. Talk about what he was saying on the power trip this morning. This was yesterday, it would have been. They took a break from yoga pants and breasts to talk to Bonus about the Twins loyalty program. Basically, you get points for every dollar spent on tickets, concessions, merchandise, etc. Those points can be redeemed for experiences or throughout the season, concession vouchers. People like Bonus saved their points for the last homestand, thinking they'd get concession vouchers and have a couple of free beers and hot dogs. But unbeknownst to the loyalty members, when they showed up to the stadium for the last homestand of the year, all the concession vouchers were sold out.
You've got to be kidding me.
And those were replaced with, get this, the chance to win a Carlos Correa signed baseball.
Oh, boy.
A Carlos Correa bobblehead.
Oh, boy.
By the way, he's not on the team anymore.
Yes.
If you're wondering. The chance to win a Johan Duran, or is it, no, how do you say it? Is it Johan
Duran?
Johan Duran signed baseball. He's not with the team either. A chance to win a Griffin Jack signed baseball. He's no longer with the team either. A Twins loyalty club hat, which they had already given away. You can't. Here's KOC.
I'm not going to go through some of the roster moves. I know we've kind of posted those, announced those, but really it's a very important day for us preparation-wise, getting back on the grass, and we got to go to work. We got a lot of things that either need to be more consistent or flat out improved upon, and that's top to bottom. So looking forward to getting a chance to do that.
Kevin, how much more is that consistency when there is the flux with all the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's every team in some capacity is dealing with adversity either by injury, early season performances and the reactions to those. You have to understand a couple things. You have to understand it's part of it, and you have to have the guys willing to step up and step into roles. And as you get guys back, you feel like you can get a shot of enthusiasm and energy from that as well. And then you got to figure out the best way to play to win, each and every game as its own. And that's exactly what we're going to try to do.
Kevin, excuse me, a couple days later, do you have any more sense of the severity of JJ's ankle injury?
Yeah, he's responding well early on to treatment and things, and he's in a boot and kind of letting that thing settle down when he's not getting treatment. Still heavily involved in meetings and installs and everything. Had great energy and enthusiasm to kind of attack it in any way he can for now, and that'll be able to build and progress from there. But yeah, he's still in the early stages of it as he kind of, I know, from a standpoint of some of the things we were hoping early on, we've seen some of that, and it'll continue hopefully.
Kevin, what's your plan at backup quarterback?
Yeah, Matt, Carson will start. Max is the backup. We brought, with the rules being what they are, and with the emergency third quarterback, we wanted to, have one based upon, just the early aspect of our season. We're pretty deep into some position groupings as it is, so we wanted to make sure we could at least get a guy that's played before, and Desmond had a great workout, and have known about him and a lot, having gone back to evaluating him coming out, and he's been on his journey, and it's just good to get him in, and he'll be that emergency number 3 on Sunday, and I'm sure he'll do a great job getting some sort of a limited menu together that he feels good about. But yeah, excited for Carson to get a full week of preparation, and the way Max has been preparing, being 2 snaps away, will probably only be enhanced, and there's not much more room he can grow from a preparation standpoint other than the physical reps that would come with it. So those guys are both here for a reason, and now Desmond's here because he was a guy we identified as being a guy, if we get to that scenario, we felt like it would be good to have a veteran guy that's still young and growing as a player, but can step in and execute if called upon.
Along those lines, do you see what do you see behind Jordan Mason at running back? Do you think Xavier Scott would be next in, or Cam Akers?
Yeah, I think Zay Scott's been a guy we've been pretty darn excited about, and just ended up, in that last preseason game, in which what I think would have been kind of the exclamation point on what was a great training camp for him. So we're excited. He's healthy. He's ready to kind of absorb some of that loss of such an impactful player like Aaron Jones. And Jordan clearly has already, shown his ability to be a heavy runner, yards after contact, all those things. And the encouraging thing, like we expected about him, was going to be the multi-facet to his game, from some of the great clips we've seen of pass protection to, catching the football, whatever it may be. We've got a pretty, I'm not sure we could have more confidence in Jordan as a potential kind of bell cow kind of back. And then knowing we've got the skill set of Zay, and then getting a chance to bring Cam back here as well, somebody who's familiar with our offense clearly, and we'll work through what that game day is going to look like with all the different ways we can get to that 48.
I know hamstrings are always tricky, but do you hope or plan to have Aaron back after the 4 games, or is it?
I think it's probably too early for me to say. It's Aaron Jones, so I'm always going to have the confidence he's going to do everything right. We've got a great staff around him, and we've got that time and place as part of that designation for a reason, and can't wait to get him back.
You touched on it on Monday, but Carson stepping into that practice last week as the number 1 guy, just how much could you take away from that as you kind of ramped him up this week? Yeah,
specifically being like Thursday, the third down day, there's some things, every week, that come up. The Falcons had some things that we had to prepare for that maybe we saw, maybe we didn't necessarily see with how the game played out. But you just kind of felt that poise and presence, even from the walkthrough to the practice, and it just kind of felt like a kind of a normal day. And I think the execution and kind of how I was pushing the group, looking for the growth from game 1 to game 2 from a procedural standpoint before the ball's ever snapped, huddle, alignment, landmarks, emotions, and details of things. His ability to absorb all that and then run the show was apparent to everybody. And I think you got a guy that, I was, telling the team today, you've got a guy that's played at a really high level, played a lot of football, and ultimately is at a place in his career where I think you can really tap into a lot of that while also shaping a game plan that he's comfortable with, and he can go out and have consistent success, because that's really what our whole team needs right now is just in all 3 phases. Can we do the things schematically that we need to do, and there's going to be some adjustments made to fit with the personnel and what we think is best to win this game this week. And then ultimately, can we play complementary football, I think, is the big thing, because it's never going to be, it's hard in this league to ever go 4 quarters, just capture the momentum and keep it. That's why there's so many close games. But I think we can do a lot more by eliminating some of the self-inflicted things that are happening before we really give ourselves a chance to capture, keep, and possibly grow the momentum. So that's where our minds are, and it really, the only focus right now is today, because we get a great opportunity to go out there today, and by the time we leave here, we need to feel like we've clearly demonstrated we're on our way to improving. And then how can we have laser focus on tomorrow and really use what is now, we're coming off of a shorter week last week, chance to turn over, chance to have a normal game week, and a 12 o'clock game at US Bank Stadium in front of our fans is absolutely what's needed right now. But we've got to have the type of performance that our fans deserve.
Time for 2 more questions, guys.
Physical corrections, and how much is between the ears, pep talk, lifting a team up after the injuries and how they played.
Yeah, part of the reason why you're ultimately, two things, which is consistent and authentic, is the only way I know how to operate. That means when you do need to, hold either the team, our coaches, or most importantly myself accountable, I think it comes off to our team as authentic and real, because I'm the same person every day, maybe not the same version of, from a standpoint of, I guess you could call it intensity, but it's really not that. It's just about being real, speaking truth, demanding kind of what we need to do as a team early on in this season. Well, I understand, and we all understand exactly where we're at right now, and where we need to get to. So there is a level of that, but at the same time, there is very simple do your job, traits to some of the things that have caused us to kind of slow down or not get started when we need to, and we need to start there. If we start there and see some of that, regardless of the opponent, and every opponent is a challenge. If we do some of those little things and just have, there's been evidence of it, of all 11 guys doing their job, and then it feels at times like a wow moment, but it's just what our offense should look like, depending on if you're talking to run and pass. It's what our defense should look like when we're applying the physicality with great technique and fundamentals to set edges, defeat blocks, play the cutback, and tackle. It starts to clear whatever haze may exist in or out of this building about what we are, and all we're really focused on is what's happening in the walls of this building right now and how we improve.
What do you expect the workload will look like for Darisaw this week?
Yeah, he'll have he should have a full participation day today, and we'll see where he's at. I think he's been progressing, exactly on the timeline with the injury he had. I think, he did such an unbelievable job throughout the offseason in getting to a place where he was medically cleared to do some things. I think, Christian's kind of expectations and desire to be out on the field is driving everything right now, and he's continuing to try to get to a place where not only he's comfortable with that, but he feels ready to go for what's out in front of him, and what that means for this weekend remains to be seen. It is a ongoing process and one that we all knew was coming and expected, but I totally understand the uniqueness to a guy participating, not, questionable, out. Like there really is nothing but a standard rehab process going on that the player has absolutely done a phenomenal job with, maybe put himself ahead of a timeline, but we're still ultimately going to have a collaborative approach to each and every game and each and every day as part of a plan that gets set forth by the medical folks and people that I have total trust in to guide the way, along with Christian having a major role in it as well.
Kevin, you mentioned the word haze, but in your role as a head coach, how much have you learned that you can plan and scheme for what your team may look like for months, but being able to adjust when things go different?
Yeah, and I think the most unique part of that is, adjustments versus corrections, and I think there's a need for both. But it's hard to truly gauge this early on when you're still in 2 games. You're still in the double-digit snap numbers. You're not in the triple digits yet, like many teams are. So when you start talking about playmakers and getting playmakers the ball, or consistency of ultimately what we even are on offense, it's hard to really justify that when you really break down the game the way we do to normal downs, get back on track downs, third downs, red zone snaps, 2-minute. You really start seeing a sample size that's really hard to ultimately say this is exactly what it is. And I know the nature of my job is to know what it is, regardless of how many opportunities. And you can project all you want, but when you really peel back the layers on each individual play, each individual guy amongst the 11 players on the field, what would it look like when we do get all 11 guys doing their job? And that's every single player in all three phases, but it's also, okay, what needs to change from a overall philosophy of how we're going to play the game. And I think it's a mixture of both. I wouldn't be doing my job unless I was trying to find the best path and to not only move forward, but for one game this week with where we're at our roster, and ultimately it's a great combination of both. I think it's a great question, and I think it's what we're working through right now, knowing that a positive outcome is only going to be there if we work the process and handle all of our responsibilities the right way.
What did you
go ahead,
Chip? I'll just adjust to with personnel, because you have a certain mind with who your personnel is going to be going into the season. Now all of a sudden, without 8 or 9, 10 guys, there's got to be some adjustments within that too. Correct.
And that's ongoing, and in many cases it's in real time, right? These things aren't. We've gone into some games outside of a few of our kind of foundational players like a Harry or a CD that, in different circumstances, whether it's the unique side of things that Harry's worked through and will continue to, build up and possibly, make his debut this week, but or CD, who's on a longer term where, there's really, at the outset of all this, you can plan for those things. It's the end game. It's the end game of a Blake Cashman. It's the end game of an Aaron Jones, a Ryan Kelly, a Justin School. It's an end game of all of that that requires the flexibility and the ability to adapt in real time. I think we won a football game in week 1 by having a good ability to do that, playing 60 minutes, knowing it's not always going to be something that you're going to want to hang on the wall and brag about how great it looked for 60 minutes. That's just not the NFL, especially with the maturation process of certain parts of our team. But at the same time, we did not do that last week, at least for sure offensively. And that's where you've got to evaluate what the best path is moving forward. And then we always have parts of our game plan we may need to lean on more than others. And that's just the nature of what a lot of teams have to go through. It's not just us.
I'll fit that note too. What did 2023 teach you as well? Because I mean that year got off to a rough start. Yep. Kirk got hurt. So I'm not saying that the parallels are going to be the same, but just as far as the adversity that season presented, it felt like, what did that teach you about handling a situation like this right now?
Exactly. I mean, it taught me that that we are very much capable of handling the circumstances of adversity, and it also taught me that adversity, as it was in 2023, and even as it was at times throughout our 13 or 14 win season, adversity is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for somebody that is here for a reason to step into a role and have a chance to thrive, hopefully because of the plan, the coaching, the players they have around them. It's about really a trust that you're trying to earn from the guy next to you every single snap. Are you doing your job or are you not doing your job? And then it's a commitment to understanding that's a very important thing. But yeah, I think, listen, we were 0-3 that year. We eventually lost, Justin, Kirk. We lost other aspects of our team and just kept going. And ultimately what we learned is even when the momentum did come on our side, whether it was, getting a couple games above 500 after starting out or a couple games ago, whatever it was, even after starting out 0-3 and digging yourself a hole, it is possible. Because we get one game a week, we get 17 of these opportunities, and although there is a Monday through Saturday in between each and every one of them that are a season in itself in a lot of ways, it just comes back to, are you willing to go to work? Are you willing to trust in what you've built as players in that locker room? And then ultimately, are we willing to just lean in even more and put the work in and figure it out? That's what the NFL season's all about. It's ultimately, I was telling somebody this the other day, it's, we are in the entertainment business, but every other facet of the entertainment business is scripted. We are not. So we have to figure out a way to write our own lyrics, write our own scripts, and you do that by controlling the process leading into these one game a week kind of opportunities, and then the in-between, those Monday through Saturdays, need to be filled with process and obviously maintain the ability to kind of kind of filter out some of the noise if you allow it to be a part of your preparation. That's the first mistake, and the second mistake is ultimately giving anything a minute of your time, a second of your time that doesn't lead to the confidence to have the trust and commitment on game day that's required.
And there you go. That's the head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. We'll have our reaction to all of that news conference action. Other side of the break, it's Tennessee and Common Man. Mark Rosen had joined us just before 2, right here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in. Ask questions. Stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
Today, join Papa Murphy's in supporting Annunciation Catholic School. Order online and use the promo code HOPE. 50% of your purchase goes directly to the school. Valid at all Minneapolis, Rochester, and Mankato locations. Let's come together and make a difference.
Please do. I want to wrap up that Pohlad penny pinching, what was it called again? Loyalty program?
Yeah.
Where basically you get points for every dollar spent on tickets, concessions, and merchandise. Those points can be redeemed, apparently, for experiences or throughout the season, concession vouchers. Apparently, though, all the concession vouchers were sold out, which is preposterous because you can just print some new ones. It's really not that hard to do. All you have to do is you just tell the people at the print shop, hey, could you print up some more vouchers for us? I mean, it's literally preposterous.
Not to mention, out of all the years for them to sell out, I would think that the attendance there, that this would be the least of all the years they would sell out.
So then, well, and that doesn't even matter. It's just the idea that if they do run out, you can print more. It's not like they ran out of food at the goose that laid the golden egg. You're right. That's a good point. But it's like, even if you had sellout crowds of 50,000 every night, you can still make new vouchers for people to get because that's what they were told that they would be able to get. And instead, what they tried to do was unload. It's sort of like when Meat Sauce and I are trying to sell last year's T-shirts at Flop, Sweat, and Tears. We make a new shirt for each year, right? We're trying to sell last year's. And so just unloading the prize closet is basically what they're doing, right? You know, hey, let's see, what do we have in here? We got to get rid of this junk. Oh, we got a Duran baseball, a Jax baseball, a Correa baseball. We got a Correa bobblehead. Junk that they're just going to throw away anyways. And they're hoping that people go, oh, boy, look at this. What a great bobble.
What a perk.
Yeah. Someone did, though. Someone said they went over budget on the voucher. Well, no, you don't. It's lower attendance, so they have less. If attendance is strong, they have more vouchers. I don't get it. What do they mean they have more vouchers if attendance is strong? I don't understand the voucher system then. I thought it was like if you accumulated a bunch of points, you go, here's my points, I want to get some food vouchers. And they said, we don't have any vouchers left. That's what I thought this was all about. Now, I did see where someone, give me 1 second. Here it is. This is a text message that came into the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line during the just before the news conference, and it said loyalty program is back now. They caved to the pressure of it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm being told.
Once it became public, and I think John Bonus led the way.
Yeah, and so now all of a sudden they say, "Whoops!" I mean, it seems like at almost every step of the way, this organization makes one faux pas after another.
Own goal.
Yeah, and it's like and you know what's interesting? The Pohlad pocket protectors have become extremely quiet. they don't say much anymore now because they know now that they've been wrong all along about this organization. That, you can make the argument that you can't buy a championship. And really, I mean, occasionally you can. It's been done. But no, it's they've been given a convenient excuse. We're a small market. And so then they can just say, well, we don't have any money. So you're just giving these owners excuses.
You're enabling them.
Because we've talked about it for years and years and years that, again, all of these owners they got plenty of money. Yeah, they got a lot of money. And so they can occasionally, not every year, but occasionally dip into those bank accounts and come up with a couple of extra dollars and maybe try to win a pennant. Wouldn't that be not an idea? The only thing I really have to say about the Kevin O'Connell news conference, he sounds defeated.
He does, yes. It's a different tone.
There's not a lot of excitement there. Even though some of the answers were long, some of the early ones were short. Even the opening statement was really brief.
It was much shorter than you normally is.
Because what else is there to say? His hand-picked franchise quarterback has been awful. Just simply awful, except for the one quarter. And again, that's only 2 games. I'm just saying, I don't think he thought that was going to happen because they'd put all these players around him. They rebuilt the middle of the offensive line and had a lot of skill players that are very talented. With Beeflo's defense, and that I'm sure they thought they did. I kind of bought into it a little bit as well. Although I will say I was cautious about the new quarterback. I wasn't all in that he was going to come out, on top of his game and leading us. So I must admit, after that fourth quarter, I was thinking, man, maybe this guy does have that it factor. And he still might, but yeah, the coach, it doesn't sound good. Like, you still got a lot of injuries. Your left tackle's out. Cashman's out. I don't know who else is coming back. You got injuries, and you're playing a Bengals team that also has a backup quarterback. But still, it's like, it just hasn't obviously gone anyway like they would have liked, and the schedule just gets tougher and tougher. So Mark Rosen joins us next. We'll see what he has to say about a dis, dat, lat. Here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit. And push your gameplay beyond limits with Intel Core Ultra processors. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel Inside. Maximize your edge by shopping at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.